She already retired.
Yeah, she already retired. Yeah, I think it's now 11 o'clock there, Zaida. If you want to start, it's okay.
Syarif, silakan dimulai.
Baik. Okay. Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good day to all of participants of IndoMS School. May peace always be upon you. Allow me to introduce myself again. My name is Ahmad Shah from Airlangga University as the moderator for this session. At this session, we will continue our activity by having a lecture conducted by Prof. Dr. Haniza Sarmin from University of Technology Malaysia on topic about topological indices of graph associated to group. To Prof. Niza, the time is yours.
Okay, so thank you very much. I see that you have some of my publication there. Okay, everyone, it's really nice to see everyone here, and I hope you can see me clearly and also my whiteboard, because I'm the old-fashioned lecturer. I like to write, and I would like for you to see me writing. I can actually use the drawing tablet, but you will not see my handwriting. So I will go through the whiteboard. You are very, very welcome to turn on your video if your data is okay, if your internet is okay. I will, because when I'm teaching, I will be looking at you, then I can see your expression, right? Whether kerut-kerut ke dahi ataupun senyum, meaning you understand. Okay, so welcome everyone. Welcome to UTM, although it's just virtually. So University Technology Malaysia. I have this list of the students. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 24, 26, 24. So ada yang tidak ada ya Zaida dalam list?
Yes, Prof. Yeah, ask permission because of
okay.
6, because of COVID.
All right, because you are recording this, so
Yeah.
maybe if they miss today, they can still have the video recording later, so they can still learn. Okay, I will not go fast. You have been through many days and many hours. I know it's not easy to learn online, right? For a few hours, you need to stretch. Your body hurts. Kena ada massage kan kerusinya. Jadi, I have this list. So welcome. I'm not sure if when I mention your university, you are all here, but I see so many universities, institute. Mau angkat tangannya ya, ataupun reaction di situ, reaction, and then you can thumbs ke, you can also give your love ke when I call your university ya. Okay. Okay, Institut Agama Islam Negeri Kediri ada. Tak ada. Institut Teknologi dan Sains Nadiatul Ulama. Ada. Okey. Sekolah Tinggi Ilmu Al-Quran dan Sains. Tak ada. UIN Raden Intan Lampung. Oh, hadir di situ. Okey. Universitas Airlangga. Ini ramai. Mana love-nya? Tak ada love pun. Thank you Nidia Putri. Okey. Universitas Brawijaya. Okey. Universitas Gajah Mada saya pernah sampai. UGM. Okey, saya pernah sampai conference. Universitas Mataram. Mataram. Okey. And Yogyakarta pun saya pernah sampai. Lalu di depan jalan saja. Okey, Institut Agama Islam Negeri Kediri ada. Okey. Universitas terbuka. In Malaysia, we also have open university. Okay, ada tak siapa-siapa saya tak panggil nama universitinya? I didn't call your university's name, nanti nangis. Don't cry. Okay, alright, okay. Let me start by sharing. I can share, right? The screen. Okay. Okay, let me see. Okay, can you see this?
Yes.
Okay, kita kena ada seorang yang on, ada ketua kelas tak? If I ask question, you can, because I don't see when I'm sharing this. So, okay, So topological indices of some graphs or some finite groups. That is my email. So every one of you, my initial, Nur Haniza Sarmin, is very easy, right? To remember my email, nhs@utm.my. So I'm from Department of Mathematical Sciences, Faculty of Science in UTM. And this is the first part of the Indo-Mathematical Society School -UTM, I call it, because now you are my student and you are in UTM. Okay, I have uploaded your slides. Notanya saya telah masukkan di Google Classroom ya. Okay, apa yang saya nak tunjukkan di sini ialah, okay, saya kata tadi I'm welcoming you to UTM. Okay, sekarang ni berapa? Saya stop sekejap sebab saya nak tengok. Saya terlupa nak tanya tadi. How many of you have been to Malaysia? No. Okay. How many of you have not been to Malaysia? Have not been. Mana tangannya? Mana reactionnya? Okay, tak pernah. Ramai yang tidak pernah ya. Have never been. It's okay. So you have a strong reason to come and visit me. Okay. Okay, let me check. Okay. So UTM Johor Bahru. This is not my latest slide lah. Actually, I have one more. Sekejap ya. I have one latest one. 1 minit ya, saya cari my latest slide. So many latest slide until I don't know which one is the latest. Okay. Okay. Okay, let me try again. I hope I get this one. So this morning I add something else. Okay. Yeah, this one is the latest one. Okay, let me save this. Okay, and I need to open the latest one. If you put your file name as latest and all is latest, ini jadinya ya. Okay, now I can see. Okay, my latest one. All right. Okay. Yes. Okay. Zaida, apa kabar?
Alhamdulillah. Fine. Even many works to do. Oh, sorry. You are mute, Prof.
All right. Is it okay now?
Yes.
You see my slide?
Not yet.
Okay. Let me try again. Okay. Can you see?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Yes. Okay. 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 This one. Since you have not been to Malaysia, okay. So we are that close, yeah? That close, Malaysia to Indonesia. And if you are in Bandung or Jakarta, you just fly maybe 2 hours, ya Zaida, you have come to Malaysia, right? So Malaysia has 2 parts, yeah? This is east, this is west, okay? So we are in Johor Bahru, just across Singapore. So when you want to come, you can go to Singapore and then cross to Johor Bahru. I can actually walk to Singapore from the tips of Johor Bahru, 1 kilometer. So this is so this is our campus, about 1,000 hectares, quite big. And there is a mosque in the middle. Masjid ya di tengah-tengah, dikelilingi oleh fakulti-fakulti, termasuk fakulti sains. Then we also have the branch campus in Kuala Lumpur, not that big, very close to KLCC. So I share this because I would like to welcome all of you when you can travel to come to UTM or to Malaysia. Okay, and I'm from this Department of Mathematical Sciences, Faculty of Science. Kita ada 7 fakulti, so science is one of them. And this is just across the mosque. di seberang masjid. And the postgraduate is new, the new building. Nearby my office now is in International, UTM International Office. And I can see most of you are undergraduates, yeah, Zahida? Is it true? And I can see 1 or 2 masters and maybe there's 1 PhD. So this is our program. We have mathematics, industrial mathematics, we have master by research, mixed mode, and this research in PhD. So maybe you can come to UTM next time to further your study. And this is our research group. We call it Applied Algebra and Analysis Research Group. Then we have some students. I sent my students here last time to this one, to I think to Jakarta or Bandung. We have this program. I think this is you, right, Zahida?
Yes.
You joined our program, so we have this also online global classroom last time. So we also have group theory conference. We went to ITB last time for this one. So we have student mobility. So you are all welcome to come to UTM next time, even for academic visit, for maybe student exchange if you still have time in there to come for 1 semester, or you come for your internship or your research, even for maybe 1 month or up to 1 year, or you can join our summer school, like the real summer school. This summer school is like really academic, but we also have summer school yang jalan-jalan juga. And we also send our students to Indonesia both ways. And now we have 916 full-time Indonesian students in UTM now. This many PhD, this many master, and this many degree. So you can still come and be our student maybe for 1 semester. Okay. And more, just to share some photos, your staff come to our Kuala Lumpur campus. You see this, the Twin Tower is just very close to our KL campus. And this is when I went with all these my students, and that's Prof. Puji. If you're from ITB, maybe you know Prof. Puji, eh? This one, Dr. Intan, your lecturer from before, came with about 20 students from ITB to do algebra seminar with our research group. So you can ask your, apa panggil dia, dosen ya, to come and join seminar with us next time. And since UTM has this international linkage with some universities, like ITB, Airlangga, Gajah Mada, Yogyakarta, Brawijaya pun ada, so you can come without having to pay the fees. Okay. And our course outline is like this. We don't have actually that much time to put in everything, but I want you to at least know the basics. Like, I'm sure you already know what are dihedral groups, Quaternion groups, but I will just review a little bit about these groups. And Dr. Intan has gone through non-commuting graph, right? So I will add a little bit on conjugacy class graph and co-prime graph for today. So we have this 1 hour, then we have break, and then continue with another later, right? And then we have our tutorial. And on Thursday, I will go to the other index. So today we'll go to winner index, and the other 3 days, I will go to each of this index. So what I will do is, we have the groups, we will find the graph of the groups, and then we will compute these indices. I think that is clear for this, okay? I will stop sharing now. So you can get your notes, or maybe you have gotten your notes from the Google Classroom. Ada tak? Ada yang dah nampak? You can just raise your hand, or you can just do like this, so I know. Ada? Belum? Okay, if you haven't, you get it, right, Nidia? Okay, Nidia already give me your heart earlier, so you can become our ketua kelas, yeah? Yeah. So, ketua kelas is the untung lah, because I will ask ketua kelas many questions. easy question, like, okay, first question, sudah dapat ya notanya dalam Google Classroom? Sudah, okay, ni dia. I will refer to that, but I will not share the one in the screen, so you can see me bigger, right? Boleh di spotlight ke begitu ya? Okay, so the first section is on group theory, okay? All right. Part 1. Okay, so let me ask you a question, because I've seen some undergraduates, I think it's a requirement, right, before you apply to the summer school to have taken modern algebra atau abstract algebra. Betul? Betul ya? Saya tengok ni dia aja. Betul. Okay. So you have to have learn groups, right? So I will not go into what is a group, kan? I'm sure you already know what a group is. It's a set, it's an empty, it has to be closed, associative, identity, inverse. That's basic thing about groups, yeah? So that is my area of expertise is in group theory. Now, but we have one chapter in group under group presentation. Tak tahu dalam bahasa Indonesia ni apa, representasi oleh group is what in bahasa Malaysia kita panggil perwakilan atau representasi kumpulan. Hari ini pun dapat belajar bahasa Malaysia juga ya. It's very close actually bahasa Malaysia and bahasa Indonesia. And my ancestors, Zaida, is actually from Jawa.
Oh.
So aku ngerti sitik-sitik ngomong Jawa.
Wah.
Itu kan, betul kan?
Ya. Kata Upin Ipin, saya tahu sempat ada yang cakap Jawa juga.
Yeah, because my husband is fully, he can speak Japanese fully, but I can half-half. Like my mom's side is Malay, and then my dad's side, the great-great-grandmother, he talks in Javanese to the great-grandparents. But he didn't talk in Jawa to me, that's why I just understand a little bit. Sitik-sitik aku boleh ngomong Jawa. tak banyak lah. Okay. So group presentation. The first one is, I think you are used to dihedral groups, yeah? Right, dihedral groups. Okay, dihedral groups, we call it D to N. Right, D to N is a group of order 2n. Okay, so this dihedral group is consists of n gone, right? N gone. So if this is D4, we put as D8. When n is 4, so it's 4 gone, right? 4 gone is a square. We don't call it 4 gone. Until you are gone. Okay, it's a square. So we can do like this. Then we have 4 rotation and 4 reflection, right? So this is the elements of Dn. Okay. So if you forget, dah belajar dulu tapi lupa, okay, dihedral group of order 8, dihedral group of order 8. Okay, it consists of I call it like this. D8 is, this is my symbol. I don't know if you use different symbol, but I use R0, rotation 0 degree, not moving, right? And then we have R90, R180, meaning R90 is like 1 goes to 2, 2 goes to 3, right? They're pusing, rotate 90 degree. Then we have R180, R270. So this is 4 rotation. R360 is R0 back, so we don't put that. And then we have the reflection. Reflection apa bahasa Indonesia?
Pencerminan.
Kecerminan. Okay, saya pun belajar bahasa Indonesia hari ini. Atau refleksi atau bahasa Malaysianya pantulan. Kecerminan. Macam cermin kan? Mirror kan? Okay, so you have the vertical, the horizontal. So H, horizontal, flip, vertical, diagonal, and the other diagonal. Ini tak ada dalam nota lah, ini saya tambah ya. Dalam nota hanya ada group presentation. Okay, but this one is recorded, so you can actually get it later. So this is one example of dihedral group. And this dihedral group, in general, it's given as, this is given here, like D2N is generators. You know about generators, right? Just take elements, it generate, you get the whole group. So generated by A and B. A has order N. Order means you take the highest power to get to the identity. Yeah. Okay. So A has order n. A has order n, meaning you get identity. So this is the rotation. So right now, just now, n is 4. So we have A to the 4 is 1. So we have 4 rotation, right? And B is the reflection. All this, you reflect again, it's identity, right? It goes back to the normal. And so this is 1, or sometimes we put this as E, yeah, the identity. And this is the relation, okay, relation. Okay, so this is common in your group theory class. Maybe you still remember. And we want n to be at least 3. Yeah, sebab D2 is nothing much. So you will start with the triangle, right? You will start with the triangle and more. Okay, this is our first group. Our second group is called the generalized Quaternion. Okay, generalized Quaternion groups. If you remember Quaternion, we normally call just Quaternion, consists of 8 elements, okay, which is plus or minus 1, plus or minus I, plus or minus J, plus or minus K. Okay, mana tadi ketua kelasnya, tak nampak pula. Sembunyi ke apa ya? Mana dia?
I'm here.
Oh, okay. Ni dia. Have you seen this before?
Yes, last year in my first semester.
Okay, so next question is, jangan takut. You remember you are lucky today. Okay? Okay, what do you remember about this? How do you multiply, or what is the order? What do you remember? 1 has order 1, right? Because 1 is the identity. Okay. What about negative 1? What is the order? Negative 1 times negative 1, how many times you get 1?
2.
2. So the order is 2. What about I? I, J, K is this, right? So what is the order? How many times you want to multiply by itself to get 1? 4 times,
4.
right?
4, yes.
Okay, because you square again. So negative 1 square is 1. Okay, so the order is 4. So we know already. But what about when we want to multiply? 1 is just identity. So you multiply, you get it back, right? But what about I times J? So if you remember, I, J, K. I times J is K. J times K is I. K times I is J. So this is how you multiply. I times J is K. J times K is I. K times I is J. In the other way around, it will be negative. So J times I is negative K. I times K is negative J. J times I is negative K. Going clockwise is positive. Going counterclockwise is negative. I'm just refreshing your memory if you don't remember, because Nadia said you learned it last year. Okay, so this is one of the Quaternion group, but in our case, we will use it the generalized way in general, right? So Q for n is again generated by A and B, such that A to the n is B squared, but it's not necessarily equal to 1. It's not like before, right? It's just the relation. A to the 2n is B to the 4 is 1. All right, so this is the one that is power of 4 equals to 1, like just now, right? I, J, and K. And you have this relation. You have to understand this, because later on we have the tutorial regarding this, the small order of the group, right? Okay, so this is generalized Quaternion group. When the case that n is 2, is our case earlier, right? When n is 2, so you get a squared is b squared. So I and j can be a and b, all right? In our case before, when n is 2, so we have q8, right? So a and b is actually I and j. So I and j can give us k, that is means the generator. I itself cannot give the whole elements of the group. So when this we get a squared is b squared, which is actually -1. I didn't say it's equal to 1, right? And then a to the 4, which is b to the 4 is 1, because I to the 4 and j equals 1. And this is the relation between I and j. We have many other relation that you can write. So this is not unique. Yeah, you can have many other relations. All right, the third group that we want to see is called the quasi dihedral groups. Okay, quasi dihedral groups Q D to the N is AB, A to the 2 to the N minus 1, B squared equals 1. Okay, 2 to the N minus 1, yeah? And B, AB is A to the 2 to the N minus 2 minus 1 here, right? And N bigger than 2. This is not very, very common, this quasi dihedral group, right? So it's, we call it like a combination. Quasi dihedral group of order 2 to the N. Okay, I will not go really into detail of this, just to share later some properties regarding these groups. So some of you who are now probably thinking of furthering your study, you want to learn more about topological indices, right? Right now I have one project with Dr. Intan and her team in ITB on some results of topological indices. Okay, any question? Okay, if you don't have any question, I have any question. Okay, not to Nidia, maybe to Melina. Melina? You can unmute, yeah. Melina?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, when did you take your modern algebra or abstract algebra?
What?
Do you take any modern algebra or abstract algebra class?
Abstract algebra.
Yeah, when?
This year.
This year. So
Yeah.
very recent ya, baru ya?
Yeah.
Okay, do you remember what is the center of the group?
Center of the group when
Bahasa Indonesia juga gak apa-apa.
Boleh. Bahasa Indonesia boleh.
Terima kasih Bu.
X in J.
Misal XY sama dengan
Is GX.
yes.
Untuk semua.
Untuk setiap G
di dalam J. Boleh, saya boleh faham. Okay, so this is the center of a group, yeah. So you remember if the group is a billion apa ya? Commutative.
Yes.
If a group is a billion and the center is the whole group. Okay, let me ask, can you understand when I speak in English? Is it okay? Kadang-kadang kita boleh faham, tapi nak bicara balik kadang-kadang susah kalau tak biasa kan. But at least you understand. If you don't understand, angkat tangan ataupun reaction. Tapi kalau saya tak nampak, kena unmute lah. Zahidah ada kat sini, nanti boleh translate. But I think we are okay so far, right? I don't use like complicated English. Okay, even your textbook sometimes is in English, right? Okay. Ini boleh bagi A ya, Melina, boleh bagi A. Boleh ingat the center. So you have to know if it's a billion, everything commute. So the center is the whole group. Dihedral just now, right? Dihedral, the center is, just now its identity is all in the center, right? So E is always in the center because for all X in G, E, if E is in G, because EG is GE, kan? That is because it's the identity. So E is always me. So we know that this is never empty. And for D8 just now, the center is equal to R0 and R180. Yeah, if you remember, you do Kelly table, right? The one commute. So actually R180 commute with all other elements. So it's in the center. Macam tadi, Quaternion. Contoh Quaternion tadi, the one that commute will be this, right? Plus or minus 1. Because multiply I, J, K, and it commutes. So this is some example why I share about the center, because we need this later to find the graph. Okay. Dan tadi rasanya Dr. Intan pun ada share kan, because non-commutative graph, you have to know the center. Okay, I just mentioned because make sure that you remember this. So centralizer, centralizer is of an element, yeah. Centralizer of an element. And centralizer also of let me see, okay, of an element X, yeah. Okay, so CG of X. Kalau tadi dia untuk semua, kan? This one is untuk X saja. Okay, so this is the centralizer. Okay, now come to the next one, which is very important for our next graph, all right? So, conjugacy class. Ingat tak ini? Kelas konjugat mungkin namanya. Kalau bahasa Malaysianya kelas konjugat. Kalau Indonesianya panggil apa?
Ya, sama.
Sama. Okay? Melina, ingat tak?
Conjugacy.
You remember, Melina? It's okay if you don't remember. You don't need to cry. Okay? I just want to know. If you don't remember, I will explain. Yeah? Okay, so conjugacy class of an element A in the group, right? I need this. Later on, I will introduce you the conjugacy class graph, and later on we will find the indices, okay? So now the conjugacy class of an element A in G is the set of X, A, the conjugate, all the set of all conjugate in which X is in G. Okay, and we say this is the number of conjugacy classes of. Yeah, my handwriting is clear, is it? Okay. All right. Okay. If I write like this, kan? Pakai binoculars teropong pun tak nampak. Okay. All right. Okay. So if I give you E, right? If I give you E, what do you get? So you replace E in here. X, E, X inverse is just E, kan? For all X. So you see, if you put E, it's just class of conjugacy class of E is E. If G a billion, commutative, yeah? If G is a billion, G is in G, what is the class of G? So you go back into here. If G is a billion, G, all elements commute. So class, when you put G here, G, X inverse. But commute, right? In all, you can write X inverse G, which is EG, which is G. Right? So this is just a singleton, right? So when G is a billion. Now, I'm sure when you learn about dihedral group and group theory, you have found the conjugacy class of D4. Okay, I will give you 2 minutes to remember. What is, the question is, what is the conjugacy class of D4? Okay, it's 1.5 minutes, 30 seconds more to think. Okay, now, first question. How many conjugacy classes of D4? That's the group of order 8. Sorry, I use the 8, yeah? Sorry. Sometimes other authors, they use D4 is 8. Melina ingat tak? Tadi konjugasi pun tak ingat kan? Ni dia sudah jadi kartun. Ni dia, you remember? No, okay. Okay, if 2 of you don't remember, probability of most of you don't remember is big, right? Okay, so what you have to do for this one, actually there are 5 conjugacy classes, yeah, for the dihedral group of order 8. So the first one is R0, and then we have this one is in the center, yeah. This one is in the center. So if it is in the center, it commute with all elements. So when you do X inverse, it's just itself like the abelian one. So it becomes in its own conjugacy class. Then we have H and horizontal and vertical. And then we have D and D prime. Okay, and then we have this, right? R and R. So we have 8 elements in these 5 conjugacy classes. Okay, but this is just a side, yeah? This is your notes from before, but I want to share the important general result. I call it proposition 1. I will not give the proof. I will just state, okay, the center of the dihedral group of order 2n is equal to this one if n is odd. Okay, the center is 1 if n is odd, and if n is even, okay, it's 1 and a to the n over 2 if n is even. So just now n is 4, right? Just now n is 4. So a over 2. So a squared is actually our R180 just now, the one that I shared earlier. So that's the center of the 8 just now. So if the n is odd, like for D6, yeah, D6 n is 3, D10, the only elements in the center is the identity element, nothing else. All right? Otherwise, there are 2 of them. Okay. Next proposition is the conjugacy classes of the conjugacy classes of the dihedral group. Panggil apa ya bahasa Indonesia?
Sama, bro. Grup dihedral.
Grup dihedral. Senang kan? Grup juga. Dihedral juga. Okay, the conjugacy classes of the dihedral groups of order 2n are as follows. Okay. If n is odd, we always have to break up into these two cases. If n is odd, we have 1, we have A and A inverse in one conjugacy class. We have A squared and A negative 2, the inverse, in one. Then we have A to the n minus 1 over 2 and the negative n minus 1 over 2. And the rest would be AI times B with the B. And I is from 0 to n minus 1. Okay, if n is odd. If n is even, okay, if n is even, they are much more complicated. Okay, this is 1, A to the n over 2. Okay, A, remember, yeah, A is the rotation just now. B is the reflection. Okay, then we have A inverse, A squared, A minus 2. Then we have A n minus 2 over 2 and the negative. Okay, and then we have something like this, but a bit different. A to the 2i b. Okay, n minus 2 over 2. And we have one extra one. And okay, I had to make sure that I can see that. So let me try to see myself. Okay, now I can see. And the last one is A 2i plus 1b. Okay, A 2i plus 1b, 0 less or I less or n minus 2 over 2. Okay, so you don't have to memorize this. The quiz won't ask you to memorize this, but this is for you to know and see about the result, yeah? The conjugacy class for this one. Okay. Let me just take this one. All right. Now, the next one, I have to give the result for the generalized Quaternion group. And then I had to give the result for Quasi Dihedral group. And then I am done for the properties in group theory, because I will need to use this to get the graph and then later to get the topological indices. I have to stop in like 5 minutes, right, Zaida?
Yeah.
Ya, cepat sangat berlalu ya, 45 minit. Or I'm the only one that feel that way, you will feel like so long already. Or okay, so this one I will go faster because we just need the result. Yeah, I think you now used to the 3 groups that I mentioned so far and what is A and B. So I call it proposition 3. Okay, the center of the generalized Quaternion group Q for n is equal to 1 and A to the n. Okay, then B equal to 2. This is the center. Like just now, remember 1 and negative 1? Yeah, that is the center of Q8. Okay, proposition 4. Okay, now K of Q for n is equal to n plus 3. The number of conjugacy classes, okay, for Q for n is n plus 3. So even for just now Quaternion of order 8, n is 2, right? Quaternion of order 8, n is 2, is also 5. And then if you figure out, you will get this. You can try yourself just to see, but this is actually the conjugacy classes for the Quaternion just now. The one Nidia remember, yeah, IJK. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can match with this when n is 2. Okay, next would be, what's the next group, yeah, Nidia? Quasi Dihedral group. We call it proposition 5. Okay, so the center of, we call it D to the 2 to the n, yeah? Quasi Dihedral, oh sorry, Q. Quasi Dihedral, Q D 2 to the n. Okay, this is equal to 1 A to the 2 to the n minus 2. Okay, and they go equal to 4. And last one is proposition 6. Okay. K of QD to the n, the number of conjugacy classes is 2 to the n minus 2 plus 3. So there are ways how they can find the conjugacy classes. Okay, now that's the first section is in group theory. My second section of this part 1 of day 1 is graph theory. I know I have looked at the timetable. You have learned a lot about graph in graph theory, not the graph fx, the polynomial, yeah, or the continuous function, yeah. Okay, so this is a graph in graph theory. Okay. In 2 minutes, in 2 minutes, in 3 minutes. Okay, what is a graph? Ahmad Sharif. Ahmad Sharif.
Yes, Prof.
Yeah, what is a graph? Cakap bahasa Indonesia pun boleh.
Himpunan titik dan himpunan garis, himpunan titiknya boleh tidak boleh kosong, himpunan garisnya boleh kosong.
Okay, so a graph gamma is a set. It's consisting of 2 components. Sorry, it consists of 2 components, V gamma and E gamma, the vertices and the edges. Vertices apa bahasa Indonesia?
Titik.
Titik. Oh, titik. Edges?
Garis.
Garis. In bahasa Malaysia, vertices is
Garis or sisi.
sisi. Sisi. Kita panggil sisi. Vertices kita panggil, suddenly I don't remember.
Not necessary.
Yeah. But it's, I know titik. Titik is this also in Malay. Yeah. Okay. So, okay. Now let me draw this before we break. Yeah. Mirul. Okay, I want you to give me, what is this? Zahida, I had to get someone to take photo of me teaching from this side, then I can pass to you for your report later. How actually a lecturer in UTM teach in students from Indonesia. Yeah?
Oh, okay.
You cannot rest. You have to list. Cari kami sendiri. the students are from Indonesia, Miru. So you can take from any side there. Okay, Nidia, what is the list of the vertices?
A,
A,
B,
B,
C, D, and E.
D, and E. Okay, and the edges. Wait. Ahmad.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Okay. All right, A plus. Thank you. Okay, we will take a break. Okay, after this, we will continue at 1 p.m. Yeah, your time, right? Zaida, okay.
Yes.
Here is 2 p.m. Okay, so I will continue with our indices. Okay, the first one, and we will compute for this graph. Okay, all right, everyone. Have a good rest. Boleh stretch, makan. Dan don't forget to come back to our class later.
Okay.
Okay, but
Thank you
before
very
that,
much.
can we just take one group photo?
Yes, sure.
Okay. Can everyone turn on the...
Minta tolong on kamera. Akbar mana Akbar sudah siap?
Iya, sudah.
Yang lain tak mau tunjuk muka ya, yang comel tu. Okay. Okay. Let me give this before I take from my side. Semua senyum tengok kamera, jangan tengok muka sendiri. Look at the camera. 1, 2, and smile. Okay. Okay. We will meet you again.
Thank you, Prof. Iza.
Thank you very much to Prof. Niza for the lecture at this session. As the
Sudah
time
hilang
shows.
ibunya.
Oke. Ya baik teman-teman, kita ada 11.52 sekarang ya. Berarti ada waktu kurang lebih 1 jam untuk bisa kembali, mungkin 5 menit menuju jam 2 sudah jam 1 di sini ya.
Paham
Menuju
nggak?
jam 1 sudah bisa kembali.
Paham nggak sama penjelasan ibunya tadi?
Paham, Bu.
Lumayan.
Materinya masih yang dasar.
Ya, maksudnya bahasanya tadi. Jadi saya mohon izin lift karena saya mau ada rapat.
Iya. Oke, dari operator bisa mengakhiri meet Zoom-nya ini.